Hey Embers, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to be looking at my top 10 most expensive PlayStation 2 games as of January 2026. For full transparency, I am recording this on the 9th of January 2026. You will be seeing it a little bit later. And for this, I'm going to be using CEX, what CEX sell the PlayStation 2 games for. Now, that's not the most accurate method, of course. You can also use things like eBay sold listings, but seeing as I'm not selling any of mine, I just went for CEX for ease of making this video. Now, this is actually my fourth time doing this, so there are 3 other videos on this channel showing my top 10 most expensive PlayStation 2 games. The last time I did this video was February 2025, so just under a year ago, and I like to do them every year just to see what's changed, and I'm very surprised by the results this year. So before we get into the top 10, I do have 2 honourable mentions, so let's do those first. So these 2 didn't quite make the top 10, but surprisingly they both made the top 10 last year. So coming in technically at joint 11th, we have Bratz Rock Angels. Now this will set you back £10 if you were to buy it from CEX today. Now this was number 9 on my list 10 months ago at £12, so it has actually come down by £2 over the last 10 months. And the next honourable mention is Harvest Moon A Wonderful Life Special Edition. Again, this has just missed out on the list once again at £10. But again, 10 months ago, this was actually number 8 on my list at £12. So once again, a £2 decrease there. So with that said, let's get on to the top 10. So coming in at number 10 is a new entry to the list. And that is, of course, Bratz the Movie. This would set you back £12 at CEX. I actually bought this on Whatnot last year for £5, so I think I did pretty well. Again, I have no stats to compare it to. I don't know how much this cost you 10 months ago because it's a new entry to the list. Apologies if you can see any marks on the floor, by the way. I am recording this on the floor. We are currently painting, so if you see any paint spots, that's exactly what it is. So in at number 9 is Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Again, surprisingly, a new entry to this list. Now, I have had Gauntlet Dark Legacy for years, but it has never made the top 10. Well, this year it has, as you can see, in at number 9. Again, at £12. So number 10 and number 9 are interchangeable, both £12 at CEX. And once again, I can't tell you how much this cost 10 months ago, but I can say it was less than £12, maybe even less than £10 to not make the list. So coming in at number 8 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. This would currently cost you £15 to buy at CEX. This was number 10 on the list 10 months ago, and it cost £12 then. So we've had a price increase of £3 on Buffy the Vampire Slayer Chaos Bleeds. In at number 7, of course, we were going to see the Shadow Hearts franchise. You're going to see them again. We have Shadow Hearts from the New World. This will set you back £15 again at CEX. So once again, number 8 and 7 are interchangeable. And spoiler alert, number 6 is also interchangeable. 3 games at £15. But yes, this was number 4 on the list 10 months ago. So it's gone down the list by 3 places. And 10 months ago, this was £25 at CEX. It's now £15. So this has had a £10 decrease, which doesn't surprise me. It is the worst game in the franchise. However, I thought that the Shadow Hearts franchise would continue to go up, so it does surprise me it's dropped by £10, but it doesn't surprise me that it's this game in the franchise, put it that way. So in at number 6, we have Dark Chronicle, the sequel to Dark Cloud. So will we see Dark Cloud a little bit later on? Now, if you were to buy Dark Chronicle today, it would cost you again £15. So like I say, number 8, 7 and 6 are interchangeable. This was number 7 on my list last time, so it has actually gone up by 1 space. And if you were to buy this 10 months ago, it would also have cost you £15. So there's been absolutely no change in terms of pricing. So to nobody's surprise, in at number 5 is Dark Cloud itself. This would cost you £18 if you were to buy it at CEX today. This was number 6 on my list last year, so it has moved up again 1 space at £22. So this has actually decreased by £4. So Dark Chronicle has stayed the same. Dark Cloud you can actually get for cheaper now than you could 10 months ago. So in 4th place on my list is my Resident Evil 4 limited edition collector's tin. It's a steelbook. So if you were to buy this today at CEX, it would cost you £28. This was number 5 on my list last year, so again it's moved up a space. And last year it would have cost you £25, so this has had a £3 increase over the last year. In at number 3, my third most expensive PlayStation 2 game is, to nobody's surprise, Shadow Hearts Covenant. So this was also number 3 last year. So this would currently cost you £38 if you were to buy it at CEX. And 10 months ago, guess what? It would have also cost you £38. So we have no change here whatsoever. This has held in value. Now we get on to the divisive PlayStation 2 rarities, of course, when it comes to CEX. In at number 2 is my copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And my particular copy would set you back £52 because unfortunately I don't have the manual. So quite a jump from £38 to £52 there. Now, if I did have a manual, this would currently set you back £70, and if you happened to have a mint copy, which is currently out of stock at CEX, that would be £90. So please just bear that in mind. I don't understand how they work out this rarity system. £52 without a manual and £70 with a manual. So CEX are valuing the manual at £18. Crazy. Now, 10 months ago, this was also number 2 on my list, and it would have been £65 without a manual. So this has actually decreased £13 in price. However, the manual price and the mint price has remained the same. So 10 months ago, it would have been £70 with a manual and £90 mint. So for some reason, only the price without a manual has decreased. And to absolutely nobody's surprise, in at number 1, again for the 4th year in a row, it hasn't been beaten, my original Shadow Hearts. This would currently cost you £55 without a manual, £70 with a manual, and £90 mint. Again, I think the mint is out of stock. Now, we've had this argument before. I do have a manual, so technically CEX would owe me £70. However, my manual has got a little bit of drawing on, so I don't know if that would class, so therefore I think they try to give me the £55. But either way, at 55 or 70, it is still the most expensive game in my collection. Now, as I've said, this was of course number 1 at 10 months ago as well. It would have cost you £45 without a manual 10 months ago, so it's had a £10 increase. However, it would have cost you £80 with a manual. So having the manual is actually a £10 decrease now. Now it's £70 and £90 mint. So currently, they are valuing the manual for Shadow Hearts at £15. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, but there you have it. So that is my top 10 most expensive PlayStation 2 games. This is a video I will probably do every year. I may do this with some of my other consoles. We'll have to wait and see. I believe I've already done this video for PlayStation 3 games, but again, that'll be quite an old video. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye Embers.